Not yet, but
There's that falafel place up there that we sometimes say.
we can ask just random people.
Or should you flip the script and ask that geezer there in the,
Oh my
in the
god, that's
green
literally
vest?
just, yeah.
It's going to be okay. So what was home to you when you were growing up?
Well, when I was growing up until 11, I was in France, and then I moved to America for a little bit.
I used to go riding in Hyde Park, and I think that sort of felt like home.
I guess I come from Nottinghamshire, so not from around here, but I lived in 5 different houses.
Yeah.
So I didn't have one idea of home. I had 5 different episodes of housing. But
Growing up.
I mean, I guess home to me was just the home, the house where I grew up with my parents. Because I would say that it's kind of the only representation of home I had, because my parents were together and I was growing up with my sisters. So I guess the house where I grew up with my parents from when I was a baby till being 18 until where I moved out.
I think that's a really interesting question because I lived basically all over the place as I was growing up. I've lived in 3 different continents, so I think home was more of a something that I was always trying to find, but that I also kind of created for myself along the way, and I think I'm just really grateful for it.
So do you think your idea of notion of home has changed?
Absolutely, I think it's changed tremendously because living abroad has made me realize what I took from my earlier homes, and basically it's made me cherish them a lot more, in a way that people who stay in the same place wouldn't.
I mean, continually, yeah. Every sort of few years, a different sense of home, of what felt comfortable and right. Yeah, definitely.
Good. I guess the sort of defining feature of my idea of home was that it didn't have any sort of defining feature. It's we lived in a house and this house and this house. So I think the thing about my living condition is that it's always changed. So it's never been constant, really. So
Do you think you could assign any sort of permanent features that run through the whole thing?
Been very independent, I guess. I live with my mum, then I live with my dad, then I live with my stepmom, and I'm obviously living on my own. So I guess the fact that what's constant is that I've always been very independent with what I sort of do and how I live in my lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say so. I think, well, maybe in terms of how I identify it, no, but in terms of the way that I feel about it, yes, because I'd say home now is very much more grounded in where my friends are and where sort of the relationships in my life are, whereas before I think it was more kind of, this is where I have the most stability, but now there are certain things that I look for in my conception of home.
Family is still very important. We can't deny that we still are very much linked to our family, but we can also choose other kinds of home. Personally, we live together with flatmates, so it's our home to the place we live in right now.
So looking into the future, what does home look like to you?
In the future, well, I'm hoping to be a diplomat, which means not really having a home. I'm hoping to make my home wherever I am. I'm the one who shapes whatever my home turns out to be. But it's also very definitely a huge part of my personality, the places I've lived. So both, I'd say, as well.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's the honest answer. No idea.
You're trying to keep it open?
Yeah, I think you sort of have to. Home is a sort of a feeling, and they're not very voluntary, so.
I like to live somewhere rural, not in London. I think I'd like to live in the countryside or something like that, definitely. Something more peaceful. Probably not on my own either. No, not my own. So.
I personally like big cities, so I won't live in a smaller city than capital cities. So I don't mind having a small home in a bigger place than a big home in a very small and removed place from what the dynamics of city really exist.
I don't even know if I want children later on or not. I don't really think about that yet. I don't even know if I'll have a partner, if it'll be in a big or small city. So I'm just kind of focused on where home is for me right now. And then later on, I guess I'll just figure it out as go forward in life. Yeah.
A big library, if we're talking physical space. Just having a lot of life, I think. Whoever is there can feel like they can be themselves and be really happy and at home.
I'm not very good at sort of looking into the future with a lot of things. I like stability, but I also like, trying new things, exploring new things. So I'm open to home moving, but I also recognise that a lot of the things in my life that I value, like having close friendships and an environment which I, can explore comfortably, I think that's something I also have to connect with stability. So, yeah.
Good luck with your time. Thank you. Bye.
Just walking past. I think in this hour it's very difficult.
Well, no one's going to come up to us and be like, hi, I want to be in your documentary film that I know you're making.